My sketchbook work shows my development of my ideas and research of many different artists that have influenced me along the way. Throughout my AS photography course, I was keen to explore a range of topics from landscape to portraits shown in my sketchbook work and experiment with many different techniques and original ideas. As I've continued to A2 level, I have had a particular interest in portrait and documentary photography, primarily focusing on expression, emotion, and shape of the human face, and creating an interaction between my subject and my audience, but also exploring a range of ideas from landscapes to still life. I looked into stereotypes and how society views a person without knowing anything about them. After visiting the UBS exhibition in Jersey, I was drawn to two large-scale photographs by Thomas Ruff, which really influenced me in my portrait photography. These large-scale portraits instantly caught my attention, and I was immediately aware that I was judging the subjects. I was astonished at how interested I was in the detail in the subject's face, without knowing anything about them, and how powerful the huge portraits were as they are so imposing, not letting me avoid the look in their eyes or the imperfections of their skin that kept me so intrigued. This then led to me researching photographer Rineke Djiksta, whose interest was photographing people at a moment when they had dropped all pretense of a pose. I thought her series Olivier was really powerful, as it showed a young man's journey through the French Foreign Legion as he climbed the ranks. Photography by Judith Joy Ross shows similar themes of documenting her subjects in their work clothes and captures a look of pride and respect for themselves, which allows your audience to relate to the subjects and begin to understand how they feel and interact with them. Whilst in France, I visited an exhibition on André Villas, with his photographs predominantly focusing on documenting the life of artist Picasso. These photographs really stood out to me as it allows an insight into his life and allows the audience to relate and get to know the artist, which was a big influence on my work when photographing portraits. I have also experimented with double exposure, both digitally and using 35mm film. Christopher Rolander's multiple exposure shots, using nature to reflect the characteristics of his subjects, further influenced me to try it myself. Using 35mm film has allowed me to appreciate the importance of a perfectly exposed and focused shot. Exploring a range of shutter speeds whilst experimenting with landscape and action photography has taught me how to manipulate light to portray fast movement in sport and extreme slow movement with water to create a sort of fog feel to my photograph. Photographs by Mickey Smith inspired me to utilise different forms of light in order to capture the eye of my audience, and his stunning images has motivated me further to continue experimenting in this area of photography, especially using light and lens glares.